Tomorrow I am heading out for about 4 to 5 days in the wilderness, and I thought what a perfect time to lay out all of my gear and talk through everything that you guys have wanted to know. Unfortunately, Akela is staying behind for this trip, but we are still going to talk through all of her gear and why it is so important for her to have the things that she does have. I will make sure to break everything up into chapters, so if you're just looking for specific portions of my gear, you can head right to that chapter. Otherwise, let's just dive right in. Here's all of my favorite backcountry gear that we have accumulated over the last 10 years or so. I'm going to start with my absolute essentials, so water, cooking, and safety. These are items that I bring on every single trip, no matter the weather or the circumstances or the length. Also, I will make sure to link every single item in the description below. I will also add a link to my website where you can find all of these products laid out in a really nice, beautiful, easy to manage way. To begin with, water filtration. I love my Platypus. This is a Gravity Works 4-liter water filtration system. For many years, I used an MSR water filter pump that would fit onto my Nalgene, and I think that that's really great for one person. But even when I'm on solo trips now, I take this. I'm never going back. This is the actual filter. The little hoses clip together very easily. Then you fill up your dirty bag with dirty water, and in no time at all, like less than a half an hour, you have 4 liters of filtered water. This will last me a whole day. I'll go and gather water in the morning and then maybe at night, and I'm good throughout the day. It is so fast, it's light, it's easy. I love my Platypus. When it comes to safety, I think everyone in the backcountry should be wearing a Garmin inReach. This is a small, lightweight device that allows you to send messages to loved ones, you can check the weather, and most importantly, you can use the SOS button on the side, which will notify the Garmin response team in case of an emergency. On to cooking. I do not go into the backcountry without my, I believe this is the Pocket Rocket Deluxe. It is very small, very light. It packs up to nothing, and this is my stove. This little stove unfolds. It has 3 feet, connects to a small fuel canister, and this is what I cook on. The deluxe kit or whatever comes with this little like cookware, which if you get this, I do love it. I love the size. It's big enough to cook some food, heat up a decent amount of water, and then I have a little bowl or cup here as well. Just don't forget to take the plastic off before you put this on your stove. I have forgotten that more than once, which is why the bottom is all warped, but it's still going strong. So if I'm back there cooking like trout or like soup mixes, then I'll bring a little bit larger of a pot or pan if I know that that is gonna be happening. One little tip about the Pocket Rocket, it does have a little lighter built into it, but I always bring my own lighter because sometimes those fail, or if they get wet, they'll fail. So just always pack a lighter just in case. Since we're in the realm of cooking, I love my little titanium camp spork. I use this all the time in the van too. I like it. You don't need it, but I like it. And I do bring my Hydro Flask insulated mug into the backcountry. This is, frankly, it's unnecessary weight. When I know that there's gonna be chilly mornings, I really like having my insulated Hydro Flask because I, as you know, thoroughly enjoy my hot coffee in the morning. It's like a little luxury when I bring this. So maybe that cup doesn't fall in the essentials category, but let's move on to my pack. This is the backpack that I now have. For many years, I had a Doubter. It was an 85-liter pack, and I absolutely loved that pack. It lasted me many, many years. One of the things I loved about my old pack was that it had a zipper, so I could access the main big compartment without needing to pull everything out. I recently did switch to this pack. I don't think I would recommend this pack for just an everyday backpacker. As you know, I live in my van, and I do various activities outside in the backcountry in the wilderness. And so I was looking for something that was very durable that I could use for every activity that I enjoy. And I landed on Kifaru because they're made in the USA. They are very durable. They have great customer service. I only have space in my van for one large pack, so I did get rid of my backpacking pack and I went with this to cover all the bases. They don't make many compartments directly in their pack, but you can purchase a lot of pouches, compartments, lids, to add on to it so that it can kind of be customized to you and what you want and the things that you want to use it for. This is the top loader, or Kafaru calls it a pack lid, that I went with. Few things I absolutely love about this design. Well, number one, it fits all of my camera gear. So my really big lens fits in here, and I typically use these two bottom ones for batteries, charge packs. I'm a full-time videographer, and so having something where I can easily access all my camera gear is very important. I can grab all of my camera gear plus snacks or whatever I need for the day and just sling it over, and this top loader then becomes a day pack. I also definitely put these straps on upside down, but that's a really like classic Linnea thing to do, and I'm not gonna fix it. Moving on to sleeping. It is so important when you're exhausted at the end of the trail or after a really long day to come back and be comfortable, because after a few days of not good sleep, it'll catch up to you. So this is my sleeping pad. I use the Thermarest. This is the Pro Light Apex. I have a size large because I'm kind of tall. I am like 5'6", 5'7", and Akela tries to steal this at night, so sometimes she'll get like the bottom part of my sleeping pad. Sleeping bags. I always go with down sleeping bags. I have never purchased synthetic. Down sleeping bags are very warm and they pack down to nearly nothing. It's also very, very light. This particular sleeping bag is from Mountain Hardwear. A lot of my gear is from Mountain Hardwear, and this is a 15-degree bag. I use this bag for basically all spring, summer, fall activities. For deep winter, I have the Mountain Hardwear -40-degree sleeping bag. I do not mess around when it's cold out. I have done many nights in very, very cold desert winters, and the -40-degree sleeping bag was amazing. I won't pull it out now because it's really not the kind of sleeping bag that just anybody I think would purchase, but I would say the 15-degree is really great for most 3-season activities. As for my tent, you guys have watched Akela and I sleep in this 2-person tent now for years. I got this tent when I was 18 years old for my birthday from my parents, and this is also from Mountain Hardwear. Once again, they don't make this exact style, but they have one that is very similar, if not better and lighter than this one. This does come with a rain fly, which I love utilizing regardless of the weather because it creates extra space that is protected outside of our tent. So the tent is a decent footprint for 2 people and a little bit of gear, and then typically I will store the rest of like my pack and Akela's pack on the outside of the tent where the rain fly is protecting kind of the outer portion. It only has 2 poles, so it's very easy to set up as well. Next up, a butt pad. I no longer carry my backpacking chair with me. It is just simply not worth the wait. Another item, bear spray. I haven't even taken this one out of the little package yet. This is what I have this time. Don't forget your bear spray. Next up, you want a really good headlamp that you can trust. I have gone through so many headlamps that I absolutely despise, but I have landed on this Black Diamond Cosmo. They also make one now that is rechargeable, but I have learned for myself I don't like rechargeable headlamps. I would much prefer to just carry extra batteries. It has a few levels of white light that adjusts, and then it has a red light as well for evening and nighttime. Extra water storage. This is a MSR dromedary. I really enjoy carrying this, especially when I'm in very arid environments or desert environments. Having this on hand, especially for Akela too, is very nice. Other than storing extra water on hikes or grabbing extra water from the river when I'm going to purify, this I can also easily hang in camp, and it has a little tiny spout for washing your hands or brushing your teeth or doing like hygiene type stuff in camp. And I really like that about it. It's also very durable. This canvas, I've had this for many years. This canvas is tough. Of course, always bring extra paracord. I have extra paracord for a few reasons. Number one, often in arid environments, I will just sleep under a tarp, cowboy camp it. And then bear country, I do hang my food. Also, you just never know when you need some extra cordage. Always bring a really good knife or like a Leatherman. I used to have a Leatherman, and then I brought it to Florida and fished with it and just like absolutely ruined it. This is a buck knife that I use for absolutely everything. I take this on every backcountry trip. There are other knives out there that are less bulky, less heavy. This was my dad's and I just bring it with me on every trip. And when I'm fishing, I do bring a fillet knife. Human waste management. You're gonna bring either one of these. In areas that are not designated pack in, pack out, you can bring a poop shovel. This one is my favorite. It comes in a nice little package. And having a really solid poop shovel, while it might be a little bit ridiculous as far as weight, it is really nice to be able to dig a solid, at least 6-inch hole. Having a tool like this can make it much easier to leave no trace. If you do that, make sure that you are at least 100 feet away from any water source. You are digging a 6-inch hole and covering it up like it never happened. Also make sure that you're not burying your toilet paper with your poop. Just throw that away and pack it out. If you're in areas that are designated wilderness, or you can check your local permit office or just Google the regulations of the area that you're going to be in, and you'll know if you need to pack in wag bags. This is a wag bag and it is so easy to use and it is so convenient. It comes with a decent amount of toilet paper and a little alcohol wipe. There is a larger garbage bag that is in this tinfoily type bag. And you open that up, fold the garbage bag around. On the inside there is it's a specific type of loose material that helps do stuff to your poop basically, so it doesn't stink and get nasty. But you're gonna poop in there, close it all up. You can tie it in a knot if you want, and then stuff it in. And then you have a seal here as well. So none of your poop is getting out. It's sealed really well. These things are really amazing. This is what I'm gonna be using in the next 4 days because I am heading into designated wilderness. And then when you get out, you just throw this away. 2 more items that I always bring with me: a little field notebook so I can write down thoughts or ideas, draw sketches, or share really cool moments that I don't wanna forget. This is often also where I write voiceovers for my videos. And then I also always bring a Kindle. All right, over here I have my hiking boots, and I've kind of been on the lookout for the best hiking boots for me and what feels good on my feet. These are the Lone Peak hiking boots by Ultra. They have a very wide toe box and they're very light. So I have been enjoying these a lot so far. One thing about these is you have to order at least one full size up. They run very, very small. This is my food bag for the week. I have still some more to add, but I will just usually fill up my stuff sack, my loose storage sack for my down sleeping bags. That's what I use for my food bag. And then this is easy to hoist up into a tree as well. I also have this dry bag here, and this is what I keep all of my toiletries in. When I go to sleep, I do put my toiletry bag into my food bag so that that gets hoisted up into a tree as well. Bears can be attracted to things in your toiletry bag, like toothpaste and whatnot, anything with strong scents. So I just get that out of camp, put it up into a bear bag, into a tree. This dry bag is also what I put all of my camera gear in when I'm doing water trips with Akela. So we have an upcoming canoe portaging trip that we'll be doing, and dry bags will be essential for that. Let's get into some of my clothing that I always bring into the backcountry, and then camera gear. Everything that you see right here, this is all I'm bringing for a 5-day trip. For base layers, I love merino wool. This is a little half zip with a hood. This is from First Light, actually. They don't stink really bad. They stay warm even when they get damp. I love them. I'm bringing just a normal long sleeve shirt to hang out in when the day is over, and I can take off my sweaty clothes, put on a dry long sleeve. I always bring a sun hoodie. So this is a very full coverage sun hoodie to protect myself midday while I'm out hiking around or scouting or in the sun in any way. I will admit I don't focus much on sunscreen, but I do really like to cover up if I'm feeling too exposed to the sun. Rain. This is a rain shell. I prefer rain shells over rain jackets. So with a rain shell, you can kind of customize your own temperature by either having layers on or not. But with a jacket, typically they're kind of heavy, kind of warm. Rain shell is the way to go. And for my warmest layer for this trip, and I bring this on basically every trip that I take, this is the Ghost Whisperer Puffy from Mountain Hardwear. I absolutely love this jacket. It is so packable that it packs into its own pocket. So it, takes up very, very little room, but it's a really high quality down puffy. So it keeps me very warm. I've added a bunch of patches because I am careless around fire. And if you do have to patch things, I highly suggest no-sew patches or tenacious tape. This week, I am not following a trail. So this is gonna be a very rugged trip. I'm bushwhacking. I'm walking through a lot of tall growth and scrub oak and sage. So I will be wearing my Fall Raven. These are the Keb curved trousers. What I absolutely love about these are expensive pants. These are the most expensive pants that I have ever owned, but these will last me literally a lifetime. They are stretchy in all the right places. So where you typically feel like binding around like your butt or your hips, there's stretch material. The knees are super tough canvasy material. They have awesome pockets, and this is my favorite part. On the side of the legs, they have these vents that open up. So, when you start hiking, you get really hot and you want to change layers. Instead of changing layers, you just open up your little heat vents on your legs, and they're amazing. I love these pants. If you are looking online and you are a woman with any sort of curve, I highly suggest going with the Keb curved rather than the normal Keb pants. If there is any chance that I'm going to swim or rinse off in any way, I bring a little pack towel. These are really, really light. They're pretty small, but they work. They dry really fast as well. So this one I think is from MSR. All right, let's go over camera gear. Many of you have questions about my camera gear, so let's get into it. The camera that I am shooting on right now is a Canon EOS R. I used to have an RP, and I really loved that camera. And the lens that I have on right now, which I use for like 98% of shooting, is the RF 24-105 millimeter f4 L series lens. I'll make sure to link all of this if those words and numbers are confusing. This is my newest camera lens. This is my baby. I'm obsessed with it. I love it. This is the RF 100-500 millimeter f4.5 to 7.1 L series lens. This is a lens that gives me beautiful moonshots. It's perfect for landscapes, for wildlife. This has completely opened up a whole new world when it comes to my videography. But like I said, the lens that's on right now, the 24-105, is my like everyday. I shoot everything almost with that lens. I do have a GoPro. I don't use this too much, but I really like using this when Akela and I are in water, kayaking, fishing, swimming. I will be taking it out, I think, though, on this backcountry trip, just to get maybe some extra angles, or yeah, we'll see. These are my batteries, and this is how I store them. This is the Peter McKinnon battery pack. These are just kind of fancy, bougie, like battery things. So they each hold 3, and it's like a little magnetic pouch to keep them protected. As for my tripod, which my camera is on right now, that is the Peak Design carbon fiber tripod. I am obsessed with this tripod. I don't think I will ever use a different tripod. I bought that because it is so lightweight. Everything is so like ergonomically smart and functional. I love the quick release for my camera. I love how easy it is to adjust the legs and how secure my camera is. I will often just sling that tripod with my camera over my shoulder and like hike up hills, and I am not worried at all that my camera is going to shake loose. I also have the Peak Design camera clip. So when I'm hiking The entire time, my camera is not in my pack. It's actually right here on my shoulder, but this just clamps down on a shoulder strap and it tightens up. Camera mount just slips right in here. When you're ready to grab your camera, which is just sitting right on your shoulder, you just click this release, lift your camera out. You can use it, take photos, take some video, and then clip it right back in. I love this thing. I also have a drone. I bought this drone like 1.5 years ago. And this is the DJI Mini 2, I believe. It is so small, it's perfect for the van just because I can fit it in small areas. The actual drone itself packs down really small. It comes with 2 batteries. It's really all I need for what I do. It's a really great entry-level drone, I think, too. And it still takes beautiful, beautiful footage. And I recently got this cool little charger for the backcountry. It's not a lot of solar power, but it does the job. So this is a battery pack, but it has a built-in solar charge system as well. Sometimes I clip this to the back of my pack when I'm hiking so it charges during the day. Typically I wouldn't need something like this, but on longer trips, and especially because I am a videographer, it's really nice to just have a little extra juice. But I really enjoy this. This is from Survival Frog. You can't find it on Amazon. I think you can only order it directly from their site. I'll make sure to link it. All right, let's move on to Akela's gear because I know that this is a hot topic. All of this to my left is Akela's gear, and we have really loved these items over the years. This is the Roughwear Approach Pack. I believe they have a pack that is maybe more marketed towards multi-day trips, but we have been using the Approach pack for multi-day trips for many years, and it works beautifully. The saddlebags are really big. This will hold all of Akela's food with even plenty more space for, you know, a week at least. It has enough space for that. Another thing in here, this is the water and food bowl that I use. I only bring one in the backcountry. It looks quite small, but it does work, and it folds down to nothing. I believe this is the trail running dog bowl, so you can slip this into any small pack. It also has a little extra clip up here for a leash, and I really like that it has a handle for like river crossings and whatnot. I'll usually hold onto her handle just to make sure that she's nice and safe, or I'll walk with her in the river right up next to my legs and kind of guide her through. Do you want to show them how good you look in this? I'll just, come here. Good girl, put your head through there. Good job. I'll just put her head through and kind of fold it over. Goes through one little foot, and then it has 2 clips. On this far side, it just has 2 clips right here, and then she... You are so funny. You're free. Go run around. Next, we have her life jacket. Akela is a very confident swimmer. So confident that she'll jump off of boats and paddle boards and kayaks and be in very deep water. So I am careful with her when we're on the water. She wears her life jacket, or as Roughwear markets it, as a float coat. And then we have a cooling vest. So this is called a swamp cooler from Roughwear. As you can tell, it's very well loved. As long as this is wet, it acts as evaporative cooling for your dog. I also have this over here because I want to talk about our sleeping arrangement a little bit. So I used to carry in a pad for Akela, which was unnecessary weight, and she would try to steal my sleeping pad anyway. So what this is just a, I believe it's Sea to Summit sleeping bag liner. So as temperatures fall in winter, typically people will add sleeping bag liners inside of their sleeping bag, and it just adds like an extra 10-15 degrees to your sleeping bag. So my 15-degree sleeping bag would turn into a 5-degree sleeping bag with a liner. But what I do, because these are so lightweight and they take up very little space, I will carry my sleeping bag liner in with me and use this as Akela's sleeping pad. Now you might think, Linnea, there's not much to that. Akela's probably not very comfortable. But what I do is in the evenings, I take out all of my extra layers and I fill the sleeping bag liner with all of my extra clothing layers. And that acts as a pad for Akela, and she sleeps on that. And it works really well for us. That is the majority of backcountry, Akela gear, videography gear, the things that I use every single time that I head into the wilderness or the backcountry, camping, backpacking, I'm going to move on to some other gear now specific to fly fishing and hunting. All right, this is the bulk of my fly fishing gear. This was my very first fly rod. This is the Path by Redington. I also have the Trailblazer. Now, I did work with Redington, and I want to state that because I typically wouldn't have 3 to 4 fly rods, but I also have the Trailblazer. This is very lightweight, very packable, as you can see. But my favorite is this. This is from a collaboration that Redington did with Topo Design, and I really, really love this rod. I don't know if it just feels really good or maybe because it's pretty, but it has worked beautifully for me. It is a 6-piece set. It's very beautiful. This one is my favorite rod right now. I also don't think that you have to get very fancy with rods. I think if you just learn how to fly fish and know how to present the fly correctly, it doesn't have to be complicated. I have a pair of their Redington waders. I love that they come in this little mesh bag. And then of course the boots to go with them. All of this I will link. These boots are also very comfortable and they have great traction. This is a little fanny pack that I like to pack for backcountry trips because I don't want to carry the bulk of this in. So in here I have, this is a 4.5 by Redington, along with, I have like a little fillet knife in here and a small little mini box of flies, some float and some tippet. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you will slowly learn. This is my main fishing pack. I love this pack. It is from Fish Pond. It slings over my shoulder. I can carry a lot of snacks. I can carry my reel. This front pouch is hard and protected, so this is actually where I store the majority of my larger like streamers and hoppers. That's that for my fishing gear. I'm gonna talk very briefly about my hunting gear since I'm heading out tomorrow on my hunt. This is my little setup for binos and rangefinder. These binos are the Viper HD 10x42. I absolutely love them. Having a really nice set of binos is a game changer. And this rangefinder is the Viper HD 3000. I also have a Vortex spotting scope. Did I mention that both of those are Vortex? Both my binos and my rangefinder are from Vortex. Vortex just has like the best optics out there. This is my cute little spotting scope. I don't need anything bigger than this. This is the Razor HD and it is very lightweight, very packable. I really like this spotting scope. This is my release. It is Cobra. And lastly, this is my bow. It was in my price range and it just made sense to me. So yeah, this is a Mission bow, the Mission MXR, and I do have a tight spot quiver. I really like the tight spot quiver. And that's that. When it comes to clothing and hunting, I don't go crazy on camo. I have gotten quite close to mule deer and been successful with stalking, and I have never worn camo. I also just have such limited space in the van. It doesn't make sense for me to spend the money on overpriced camo, in my opinion, and maybe more veteran hunters are going to disagree, but that's where I'm at right now. I don't have crazy hunting gear. I just have the basics and I make everything else I have work. Everything that I just walked through is the majority of what I will be bringing tomorrow on a like 4 to 5 day backcountry trip. I really try to keep things minimal and light, and also focusing on quality of gear because I do value spending the money up front for it to last me a very long time. I also want to remind you, if you are a novice, if you are so new to the outdoors, you don't even know where to start, I hope that you can watch this video, learn some things, and then purchase the items that feel good for you. Much of this gear has been accumulated over many, many years. There has been no point in my life where I could have purchased all of this gear at one time. That would have been a tremendous purchase for me, but it has been slow purchases and learning over the years and investing at times that felt right for me. And now I feel really mostly set up as far as being able to do all the things I love in the outdoors. And with that, I will say goodbye. Thank you for being here. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And Akela and I will see you next week for a really beautiful wilderness video, actually showcasing a lot of our gear. So look out for that. And I hope you have a wonderful day.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. All the good times just begun.